They said it couldn't be done. Those fools, they said it couldn't be done, that it couldn't happen. I will prove them wrong once and for all. I will carry on and live the dream. With one fell swoop, I will ensure that my father's work goes on uninterrupted, and his legacy will live on. All that's left to do now is to flip the switch, and my friends, my beautiful creation will be born. Here we are, on the precipice of greatness. 3, 2, 1. It lives! It lives! Hello, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and all of you who are interested in experimental science. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Matt, and I'm here once again to present an unboxing for you. Please come along and join me. I know we're going to become the very best of friends. I do excuse the tease. I have been very excited for this one, and I'm looking forward to getting into the guts of it. So without further ado, I give you the one and only from Renegade Game Studios, My Father's Work. Now, this is an absolutely huge, big box game of epic proportions. I have been absolutely chomping at the bit to get into this one. It arrived yesterday, I think, or was it Monday? So yeah, it's only just arrived, literally fantastically arrived. This is a game that is a slog game. Games that are heavy in terms of... Every now and again, I love a game that's going to take me 3 hours to complete, and this is what this game is all about. Effectively, you get 3 generations. It's going to take about an hour per generation, depending on your player count, and you are effectively trying to carry on my father's work and develop the most insane and crazy experiments and bring them to fruition. Enough chatter. Let's get this on the table, and we'll show you what's in the box, because I'm so excited. I'm going to be stumbling over my words. It's just fantastic. There are many, many things I want to talk about with this game. The fact that it is very much that, I want to say 50s or 40s, film noir, gothic horror sort of deal. Where you've got the mob chasing down the mad scientist on the hill, except that you get to be the mad scientist, which is fantastic. I'm talking too much and I am babbling. Let's just get into it. Let's get the shrink off and let's get this down to the table. Most importantly, we're going to save all of the plastic shrink for scientific experiments. But first of all, it goes on the floor. There are a few things I want to point out about the box. Apart from the fact that it is just the most gorgeously pretty, wonderful thing I've ever seen. It's got these foils on it. It just looks fantastic. I've been very excited about this game. First and foremost, though, let's take a look at the artwork. As you can see here, it is just boss. There's the village down here of all the people. There's little caves and things down here, crypts and things. There's the big pathway that leads up to the mansion on the hill. And of course, it is being struck by lightning, which is bloody incredible. However, one thing I will note, apart from the fact that I've been really excited because of the game's content and because of the story elements that is contained therein, I'm also very excited because this is produced by one of my favorite game studios of late, and that is, of course, Renegade Game Studios. They made Clank. They've got Hunger has just come out as well. So they're producing a lot of great quality stuff. This promises to be no exception to that. I mean, this ennoblement here with the title, the etching metalwork. What I really love about this is it is a Renegade Game Studios game, but the logo is in black and white down the bottom here. So you can't actually, I mean, yes, they're produced by them, but they haven't taken ownership of that. They've let the artwork do the talking, and that is just a boss move. Okay, let's take the lid off this sucker. It is a huge box. It is a very heavy box, about 5 kilos. I'm not sure what that is in pounds. I'm pretty sure it'll pop up on the screen. This is just an, oh my God, it just looks so pretty. Okay, let's get this up and sorted over here. And we are dealing with an incredibly wet weather day here in Melbourne because we have an Antarctic cold snap. So it sort of fits the mood. There's rain and there's potentially thunder later on as well, which kind of fits the mood for this game, which is awesome. Okay, rulebook. I'm assuming this is a rulebook because it just looks boss. You've got components for days. Oh my. I don't know if you can see on the overhead here, but this is actually printed on like a high quality GSM paper, but it's not like your gloss finish or whatever. It's a nice matte finish. It's almost like a linen paper. It feels amazing. And the fact that they've gone all in, I mean, this is a game, this is not coming to retail. This is not going to be available on retail. So if you miss the Kickstarter and the late pledge, too bad, so sad, and you are going to be missing out. I'm just going to move this over here because the lid, unfortunately, is going to be in the way. There is, the rulebook feels amazing. It just looks brilliant. You got all the components here, rules of play, basic setup, how it all sort of works together. This is a game that is driven by an app as well, so we'll have to download the app and give that a bit of an idea of what's going on. Storybook, saving your progress. Because I believe intergenerationally, you can save your research or you can save your money depending on which way you want to go. All sorts of crazy business. There is an angry mob track, creepy track. The creepier you are, the angrier the mob will become. So there's a bit of a balancing system, researching tracks, all that sort of stuff. Oh my gosh, there is just so much going on. End of the game, how it all sort of works. I love it. I love it. I love it. The first test of this game they played for 7 hours, which is just brilliant. I love it. It's so good. It is so, so good. All right. Oh, okay. I'm a fan of this sort of gothic Victorian horror genre. I mean, let's be honest, it's awesome. So to see this unfold and to have followed this along, as I do with most Kickstarter projects, but this is one I really followed and was really involved in the development of as I was watching it being developed, and it's just have it here on the table. I'm so excited. The Village Chronicle with a beautiful gold foil there, which is fabulous. The Cost of Disease. Now these are effectively your player board maps. So this is worker placement areas where you can go and generate things, obviously the bank, but they evolve as the game goes on. So I don't want to give too much away because the Village Chronicle obviously evolves over time, and I don't want to, I may have just given away spoilers. I hope I haven't, but that's fantastic. It's effectively a playbook where you've got all the different things that develop the town and they're in. And again, they've got that ennoblement that's all black and white for their bits and pieces for the Renegade logos. We've got punch outs. Now these are overlays that you can play to your particular player board. You can get private study, iron vaults, all that sort of stuff. They are a high quality chipboard. This adds to the creep factor. You can see here it's got a little Frankenstein icon, and also it looks like a little brain science icon, first and second generation only. So you can obviously add those to your player board, which we will see shortly. We have some VP points. So for the different characters, there is red, white, purple, and black or brown. A nice thick chipboard, which is fine. They look great. VP on one side, 100 VP on the other side. And then you've got here voting tokens, yay, and I think on the back is nay. So I'm assuming there's some sort of voting process when you, is it end of generation? If you're playing the angry mob against another player, who knows? I will check too. Now that I've done those, that's probably got just different levels, different generational levels, which is awesome. More tokens for days. And then here you've got the third generation tokens, and then you've got vanity bits and pieces as well, projects you can work on, and starting tiles as well. So that's, yeah, I mean, I'm excited to get into it. So player boards for days. They're heavy. The dual layered player boards are here. This is your quarters, and then you've got different research tracks here, and then you've got these slots that you can build those tiles we saw earlier, and they'll fit into the board. Let me just grab that one I punched out before. So you can literally just slot it in as a room, as a chamber, and then grab it here. the cost to record your knowledge so you can advance yourself later on. You've got stored experiments that you've successfully completed. You can slot under there. And the back of the board has this nice ennoblement of the game as well. Really high quality on the player board. I'm digging it. It looks fantastic. And of course, there's 4 of those there. And then we get into all the fun stuff. Oh my goodness. Okay. So table presence is a massive thing for me, as you will be aware if you've watched this channel before. I am very excited to get this to the table, all set up and ready to go. For those of you who watched our recent unboxing videos, you will know that at the tail end, we will have a bit of a flyover of everything set up and ready to go. This will be no exception, and yeah, table presence for days. So yes, I'm very excited. Okay, can you tell? So this is the main board, and it's in pieces, which I like, so you can pack it away nice and easy. It assembles like that. I will get a shot of this all set up, ready to go. I do like that with the board, they've actually left this slot here, this groove, which is for that Village Chronicle, the binder. So it actually sits, which means if the board is jostled, the Chronicle won't move around, which is fantastic and very clever in terms of design. In fact, I might even, let's just have a look here without trying to reveal too much of what lies beneath. Let's see if I can get it sorted. I do like that. That's fantastic. Let's see if I can, it's not going to be complete, but it might just fit in frame. We'll see how we go. So this gives you an idea. That's the main board. The Village Chronicle sits here, and you can see there's empty lots where the village buildings will go. And this area here, I'm not sure. I think there's another insert that goes in here, but we'll delve further into the box. We'll see how we go. You've got generation 1, 2, and 3. The rounds in the generation, any lost tokens, and this looks like it's a point scoring track around the outside, and this is your angry mob and your creepy track as well. So the main board itself is not huge, but your player board area, your player trays, all the components, that's where the bits and pieces lie in terms of table presence. Let's clear this one out of the way. I do like as well, when I've just quickly put that together, it's sat inside this little groove within this player tray or component tray. I'm very excited because I can see what's in the box. I'm sure you can too. We've got deluxe components in here as well, which ended up being not deluxe because it's not a deluxe edition. They just have all the extra bits and pieces that are upgraded. So this is the Insanity track, which has double-sided Insanity track, and that is what slots into the bottom of that slot on the board. So depending on, this is the 1st and 2nd generation, and then 3rd generation at the final end. So your Insanity track, the more insane you are, the more crazier the experiments are, but the more creepy you become as well. The more likely the angry mob is going to come with their torch and pitchforks. Okay, I'm digging the purple. I'm digging the purple. I don't know how you're finding this. I'm hoping this is translating well, because this is just boss. It's been something I've been hanging out for a while. So I just want to check and make sure. Oh my gosh. There is so much going on here, so much to unpack. Let's start here first. I'm going to very carefully, so as not to, I think game trays obviously have had a hand in the storage solutions for this one. Game trays are just, nearly lost it. Game trays are just pumping out some amazing stuff. So if publishers haven't got game trays on board to help with storage for all their different components, they really, really should. I almost want to come back to the minis later. So we may do that and get in close to show you these components, because the mini sculpts just look epic, absolutely amazing. We have got here turn sequence and help cards. These are pretty straightforward. I'll take them out just so you can see what's going on. And we'll put the plastic on the floor, because I'm pretty sure we don't need that one anymore. So just symbology, which is good because there's a lot of iconography for this one. And on the back, you've got turn sequence as well. Now, I will say, having these, obviously 1 per player is great, but the fact they're double-sided really sort of, it means you have 1 per player. And if you've got if you've got a 4-player game, you have to flip and flop if you need to make a reference. So I would prefer, I mean, if I ever play a game solo, Arkham Horror is a classic example. I have 1 of each and I have them face up. So like this, so I can see everything at a glance rather than having to keep flipping. It's not a huge issue, but it can be a little bit fiddly, particularly with a game that has such meat to it like this does. I will say, however, with a game that has such meat, there is not a lot of information on there. So obviously the iconography, you can pretty much probably remember that. So that's not a huge issue, I suppose. Token storage tray here, and they will sit on top, which I kind of dig as well. Let's get through some tokens and start at the very top. We've got here our player bases. So one thing I like about this, and again, correct me if I'm wrong, it's been a while since I've looked at anything on this one in terms of the Kickstarter. So if I get things wrong, let me know. You've got all the different player pieces. So if I look at this correctly, you've got effectively 5, 6 different standees or player markers, and you will decide which of the figures will actually lead your generation. So each generation, the offspring could be male, could be female, it could be a servant that's risen up from the ranks, who knows, that is entirely up to you. But I like the fact that you can chop and change your hero character as you make your way through the game, and that's fantastic. It gives a lot of replayability and a lot of personalization as well, which is quite cool. So there's the ones there for the white and red, and then the next one down is going to be the black and purple. I'm pretty sure that if my wife ever plays this, she'll be purple. Charlotte will be purple, because that's just what happens. I know this is a game that is designed for players 14 and over. There's some graphic content, I believe, in this one. But even then, Charlotte will still probably want to play because she wants to play everything, which is awesome. So we've got here some tokeny bits. We have what look like research markers here, and they are very thick wooden components. More research markers, and these are in the player colors as well. Oh, I like that. So they've got a skull. This one is a chalice. And then there's little markers here for other bits and pieces as well. There is a generation marker, and then you've got your creep marker, and that's again in player color. And then the little portal Tesla coil thing. I don't know what that's about. That's very cool. The player marker, are they science track markers maybe? Yeah, but they're all in different player colors depending on the player that you're playing as, which I kind of dig. So there's also, what have we got here? Suspicion markers and things like that, and that's for the mob track, which is very cool. And then in this one, we have got the player pieces for purple and black, which are very much the same. The only thing that's different in here is that you've got, oops, don't want to drop anything, the angry mob marker, which is this nice big black pitchfork of death, which is cool. First player marker is there. It's a nice big thick piece of timber as well. And then for black, you get gargoyles. And for purple, you get these crazy knights. I don't know, the gargoyles are pretty awesome. They're pretty good. I mean, all the pieces, and it's just quality. Quality you can expect from Renegade. Now, it's interesting, with Dune Imperium and its expansion, the pieces are literally just wooden pieces. There's no printing on them or anything else to give them depth, which is not a bad thing. I don't mind that. But for this game with such a steep theme, I'm kind of digging it. It's fantastic. It's just the best. All right, we'll come back to the minis. We'll get in close for that. First things first, I'm just going to move that up and out of the way there to reveal this wonderful thing of accessories. So it's just a beautiful thing. It's an absolutely beautiful thing. So you've got here with the game. Now, the app runs pretty much the game in terms of the story elements and reading and everything else as well. What was amazing is when this game first was launched, it had a little bit of backstory. The app was going to do it, and there was basically one story involved. That would obviously change as you played the game. Due to backers loving the theme and loving the game concept and everything else, they ended up unlocking not just 1, but 3 scenarios to play through. So in these boxes here are secrets that relate to those scenarios that obviously you'll be entrusted to open up in terms of experiments you can conduct, research you can do, objectives to meet, all that sort of stuff. But spoilers, I might open Cost of Disease. I might open that one to show you what's in it, because that's the first scenario that was on Kickstarter and everything else as well. Fear of the unknown in a time of war, I'm going to keep sealed. And that's just because I don't want to spoil anything for myself, and I don't want to spoil things for you guys as well. But before we get into that, we have this resource tray. It's so good. It's so good. Okay, so the resource tray has this wonderful My Father's Work logo. I'm just trying to get it up nice and close for you so you can see what's going on. There we go. Beautiful, simple to open. I love it. Now these have purely no other thing than just being cosmetic. They are literally just research. What are they called? They're vials? Chemical research. So these are resources that denote any chemical research that you're doing. And they sit in this tray and they purely have no other objective. They're purely cosmetic. But it looks amazing. If you're researching some sort of chemical, bang, that's it. I don't know if these cubes can go in there to add color to it. I'm not entirely sure. You have got metal coin tokens, which we dig. Yeah, let's move this one out of the way. I'm sorry, box. You're huge. We love you. But let's get into it. Okay, so we've got here, is that more? Oh, the gears. Holy crap. I knew the components were going to be amazing, but I didn't know they were going to be this amazing. So we've got these beautiful money coins here, worth 5. How good is that noise? Oh, I dig it. I dig it on so many levels. Okay. If you're not making a big box game that is, I think cost-wise as well, this was not expensive. This was not an expensive game. I think it was $90 US, which is about 120 bucks Australian. Or maybe more. I have to have a look at the exchange rate. If I've got it wrong, it'll appear on the screen. But for what we're getting and the 3 different scenario boxes and the other replayability, the side of the box, I didn't even see that. The side of the box has a packing solution on it. It's so good, so good, so clever, so thought out. Renegade, chef's kiss, double chef's kiss, amazing. For what you get as deluxe components, even in its a standard edition, it's worth it. I think about Foundations of Rome and what that cost me. Foundations of Rome cost us what it cost us. Yes, we got the extra modules, and yes, it's a big box and there's lots of components. But there's probably more components to this game, and this game cost us less. So, go figure. I don't know, maybe Renegade, I don't know. Renegade's got their method in their madness. It is beautiful already. I haven't even gotten into the guts of how this works, but there you go. You've got all the 1 coin, and they're thick too. They're very thick coins. Again, they make that nice noise, which is just fantastic. We love a table presence for days. Love it, love it, love it, love it, love it. And because as I said at the outset, I do love my horror gaming. So the fact that this is horror themed, oh man, I'm just digging it. I'm gonna leave those to last because they're boss as hell. The tokens down here, the colored cubes, they're literally just colored cubes in different, it's pandemic, that's it. And there's very much the plastic cubes as opposed to the wooden cubes that we saw in Dune Imperium. Renegade, just amazing. And TC Petty III, who has put together this one. You, my friend, have done so much to make this the game that it is, and it wouldn't obviously exist without you. So my kudos to you, sir. For making this the outstanding game it is. So you've got some coffin pieces, and I believe you can obviously, if you're looking for parts, for lack of a better term, you've got coffins, all sorts of coffins there. The screen printing, I'm not usually a fan of screen printing. I have said that on the channel on many occasions. I am not usually a fan of screen printing, and the reason is because things fade, they get scratched, etc. I don't mind this. The quality and the almost lacquery finish on the screen printing kind of gives it, I don't know, just a bit more longevity, I guess, for lack of a better term. It's kind of good. Okay, oh, here we go. So the other thing is, we're not just experimenting with body parts from humans. You can also experiment with body parts from these cutesy little animals as well. Grab a horse, a bat, there's sharks. It's not a baby shark. There's a frog. Eye of Newt, that sort of stuff. They are sticking together. There's rats, of course, and an elephant. Holy crap, where'd they get an elephant from? I suppose it's Eastern Europe. Maybe it's possible. They get it imported. Maybe they just needed the tusks. That's really gross. Don't actually do that. Don't buy tusk products. But the tokens there, again, that same nice finish that just give it a really nice feel. And there's owls, crows, elk. I just don't know where this game is going to take me, and I kind of dig that. It's so good. The last thing I want to show you for this little tray are these things. I almost don't want to remove their bags because I don't want to damage everything, but I think I'm going to have to get it back in now. These are gearwork tokens, and they are in a couple of different shapes. The gears they're a resource, so for your science projects, look at these bloody things. Look at them. They are Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. So intricate. Unnecessarily intricately detailed. But boy, am I thankful that they are. I'm shaking. I'm so excited. I'm digging it. It could also be because I'm cold, because it's just freezing here in Melbourne today. Okay, so that's this tray here. I'm going to put this one to the side. Coins for days. That one is going to sit on there for now, and then we're going to have a look at some other components that are in the box. There we go. Okay, let's bring this fella back. Come on back. There we go. All right, so we've got here a player tray down the bottom. Storage solutions for days. We've got here some fear cards. Compulsions. Compulsion and madness. So you will develop compulsions as the game goes on. Plastic on the floor. So these compulsion cards will effectively cause you or force you to do things you wouldn't otherwise do. And if you hold them to the end of the game, they're actually worth VP as well. As a free action, you can move your unused spouse to lost. Must collect an animal, must complete an A-level experiment, must complete. So these are compulsions you must do. They said it was a fool, but I have to do this or else. So it forces you to go a bit manic to focus on one objective to gain those points. And there's obviously potentially penalties if you do not do those things. I'm going to pop those in there just because I can. Now, this tray here is generational, A, B, C, or it could be experiments, A, B, and C. I am not sure. It could be many, who knows? I think they are because they're larger cards. Ooh, things to rip off. That's exciting. So let's see. We're studying, it's got a B on it and it's in the A spot. That's bollocks. We'll have to fix that up. I think there's spots in these too for sleeved cards. Maybe, we'll see. I might be able to fit sleeved cards in there. I know they've got pull tabs on them, but I just find the pull tabs can be fiddly. So ripping them open with a knife is just more fun. So you can see here there's B's, and then you've got the A cards. So let's put the B's here, because I believe the experiments will get crazy. A-level experiments, and you have got things like studying the effects of poisonous plant life, chemical preparation, wildflower extraction, purification, explosives, acid containment procedure, stimulative research, animal trials, sonic healing studies. So whichever one you potentially engage in is going to potentially further the work down the track generationally as well. Small mammal vivisection, yes please. Taxidermic exploration, steam propulsion, obedience trading, a good earth procurement, light magnification, electromagnetism and virility, pressurized goggles, tensile joint analysis, Daniel cell battery, microscopic studies, magical properties of hair, minor necromancy. I wonder what that's going to evolve to. Disillusion, early blood ritual, metaphysical curse, body purification, divining from the tarot. Wow, that's the beginning level. Where do we go from here? I'm pretty sure these experiments are going to be worthy of an angry mob. And the fact that you start off, quite clean, and then, I'm just going to dabble in a bit of minor necromancy. What's a bit of minor necromancy between friends? Imagine that dinner table conversation when you invite, the people around for who knows what. All right, we've got some C cards. Now, I like to, on the backs of these, he says as he filters through them all, so if you look at the A cards are quite clean. There you go. And then you've got the B cards, which are a little bit darker with the clouds beneath them, which is very, very cool. And then you've got here on the C cards, which I'll show you the faces of, you get lightning and thunder as you get closer and closer to realizing your nefarious objective, which is awesome. Crossbreed livestock. Now we're getting somewhere. Human to animal skin grafting, fruit bat with a clock in its chest. Why not? Faithful companion, mobility enhancement, telegraph machine, sand casting, mechanical stabilizers, the motorized velocipede, big red flashing meter, camera obscura. Wow. Enact a blood curse, human vivisection, brain transplantation, hypnosis study, channeling spirits of the dead, walk-in refrigeration unit, very important if you are going shopping for corpse parts, a zeppelin, sterilization, laundry detergent? Well, I suppose if there's blood, you got to get it out somehow. Volunteer sleeping aid trials, homeopathic delusion, The removed tail that is still alive. Oh my gentle bejesus. Okay, so that's the C grade experiments. Let's have a look at what happens when you get to the top end of town and you start conducting these crazy, crazy experiments, which is, let's face it, that's what we're all here for. Okay, so we've got, let's just make sure, oh, hello, we've got extra cards at the back here. Cards galore. So many cards. Okay, so C grade cards. An electric organ, a chimpanzee butler, because who doesn't want a chimpanzee butler? Sinister metal mask, mechanical elephant, weather control device, the automaton, vocal cord grafting, telephone line to hell, one-way gate to the underworld. Fair enough. Altar of blood and steam, a helping hand, a bit of thing action, summon a familiar, spontaneous combustion pills, an inhuman millipede. Wow, an inhuman millipede, unstoppable acid X, the albatross, reverse fire extinguisher, a fire-breathing eagle, indetectable invisible poison, fluber, not flubber, fluber, chapeau de lobotomy, a cryogenic chamber, actual wings grafted on, a hictania, iron mole, the mistake, oh gosh, the inside-out crocodile, oh crap, perfectly evil laugh, retractable blood siphoning fangs, what? Oh my god, a glorious chimerical abomination, an elevator room, and a bulletproof exoskeleton. This game is shitballs to the wall crazy, and I'm digging it. Excuse my language. We've also got, we've seen player aid cards. What are these ones? Maladjustments. Maladjustment cards. Okay, so obviously we're getting into some crazy stuff. Clinging. You must send your spouse along with another worker to take any actions. Writer's block. Loose lips. Midlife crisis during the middle years. Immediately lose 4 VP if you place yourself on an estate location. Fear of abandonment. You must be loved. For each creepy you gain, lose 1 VP. If the angry mob overtakes this generation, lose 5. Spoiled brat. During the early years, if you take a town action someone else has already taken, gain 1 creepy. Creepy spinal abnormality. At the start of the late years, place 1 of your caretaker pieces onto this card. This piece cannot be used for the rest of the generation. Addict, existential crisis. Holy goodness gracious. And then we've got here what look like the masterwork. So at the end of the game, if you have completed a masterwork, obviously it's going to be worth a huge amount of VP, but you need to obviously complete some objectives ahead of that. So the different experiments that you can conduct are as follows. You can achieve teleportation. You can make the creature, which is fair enough. The nyclotope. Then you've got a lycanthropic strength, yes please. Immortality. Love potion. A time machine. Hang on, that looks very familiar. And then you've got the giant spider chariot. I want to build that. The giant spider chariot. Now this one here is worth 21 VP. It will cause you to be insane and it will cause you 2 creep tokens. And these are the different components you need to build it. There's just, I mean, immortality is worth 21 VP. Yep, fair enough. I'm digging it. I'm digging it. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Okay, let's move this down here. I think I've gone through everything except the minis and the boxes. As I said, I'm not going to go through these boxes here, only because secrets. I will open up this one for you. I just want to make sure there's nothing else under there. There's extra storage component pieces here. Oh my gosh. Okay, should we get in close for this? I think it's just cards and things. Okay. And it's got a little bit of an overview of the different components that are inside the box. Yeah, 180 minutes, long playtime. Okay, so this is topical, I guess. It's a virus. So inside the box, you've got a set of cards. You have got a baggie of tokens and all sorts. And then you've got, down the bottom, a little metallic token, which has the mayor on it. Let's open up that one first and have a quick look, because it's a little metal token. Which is there. I don't know if you can see that clearly or not, but it's just this beautiful little token that has the mayor's face on it. It's my father's works representation of the Monopoly guy. Maybe, I don't know, I made that up. There is Cost of Disease cards. Now, I could be spoiling things. I hope I'm not. I'm really sorry in advance, but I'm going to do it anyway. I'll keep that one there. So Cost of Disease, which could be story cards. And then you've got here, sealed cards. I don't want to look at those. I'll look at number one. So number one, they've got little symbols here. Number one, spoiler warning, last chance. Here we go. Urgent. Dear friend, it is of the utmost importance that our correspondence is kept secret. The information I have to share with you is time sensitive. I will send an associate to meet with you at the designated location. The password is Alpha. If you visit the bazaar location, reveal this card to gain 2 VP and then take one of those story icons, which could be, storytelling elements, and potentially earn you VP. The rest of the cards here have the Cost of Disease back on them, and they, again, spoilers, maybe reconstructed animal remains, gain a heart token when completing a biology type experiment. So these could be different bartering techniques that you pick up off the board, different experiments here. So these are experiments that are not in the base game. Panacea, cure for all ailments, yellow fever, uncontrollable coughing fits, molting of skin each season, hysterical urge to fornicate. Oh, it's worth 9 VP, why not? Extreme body hair, visible horns on forehead, the secret of eternal life. So these are special cards that potentially give you extra benefits. You will gain an extra caretaker next generation, body transplantation, sanitize everything, automaton, vampirism, blood transfusion, and block miasma. Wow, secret of eternal life. And then in this deck, you've got those other cards that we saw, but you've also got here, cards that reveal the end of the game conditions. So I may have just caused problems there. Spoiler again. Lycanthropic strength and immortality would be potentially the goals, and at the end of the game, if you do not complete your masterwork, the overwhelming guilt consumes your last waking thoughts and you die alone as a miserable failure and you lose 5 VP. Wow. Okay, that is... okay. I'm hoping that I didn't spoil things for you, but at the same time, there's... obviously, different boxes have different things, different components, etc. So I'll have a look at the back of those and show you the components. Now, this one here has different room tiles, different buildings, parts of the buildings that you can make. So you can see here there is overlays for different things like a bookstore, part of the village, tokens of the heart, more creep tokens, more building tokens, and the back of the building tokens has a little symbol which denotes to the box that it's come from. So you will be able to remember where everything goes, which packet that it's from, which is kind of awesome. I tell you what, I'm just gonna have a look at the back of the box here. Let's just have a look at the back of the box and show you what the components are for these ones. And then we'll get in close and show you what's going on. So you can see here, you've got different components, obsession cards, experiment cards, sickle tokens, gasoline tokens, house on the hill tiles, money tokens, all sorts of goodies. I don't want to spoil it anymore. All right, we're going to get in close and then we're going to have a look at minis. So bear with me for a second. I'm going to bring the camera down and we'll have a look at these crazy, crazy mini sculpts. Okay, here we are. We are back and we are in nice and close. As you can see, overheads here, ready to give you an idea of the different sculpts. Now they have this beautiful, and you'll see this beautiful grey sepia, not sepia, a really dark sort of noir gothic feel, which we're digging. And there are only 6 sculpts. There are 4 of each sculpt, 1 of each sculpt for each player. And obviously you use those as you see fit to move around the board and do all sorts of crazy, wonderful, weird things. So let's have a look first. This one is sort of, he looks a bit more like your Igor sort of dude, but I'll give you a bit of an idea. Here he is there. So you can see here he's got the lantern, he's ready to do a bit of grave robbing, a grave digging, and I do like the fact they've got this sort of flashing of like grass, long grass, as he's stalking through, causing all sorts of trouble. He's got a little satchel to store who knows what, body parts and things there. And I like the fact as well that, as I said, you can make these characters fulfill any of these conditions. So this guy could be a servant, he could be the master of the house, he could be a spouse. That's entirely up to you how you want to play that. If I've got that wrong, let me know. But at this stage, as far as I'm aware, you can chop and change. Use the term chop and change very, very figuratively as well as literally in this scenario. So yeah, I mean, there's one of those per player. There's 4 of each sculpt, as I said, but this guy, I mean, they look fantastic. And I do like the fact that there is multiple sculpts for each gender, which is fantastic. So it's not just limited to, blokes doing mad science things. You've got this young lady here who is doing mad sciencey type things as well. You can see here she's making sort of, I don't know, maybe it's a love potion, maybe it's some sort of acid, maybe it's something that's going to bite someone's face off. Who knows? It is just absolutely boss, and I'm digging it. Speaking of crazy lasses and all of their experiments, you've got this sort of aristocratic young lass here she's got this little doctor's bag thing. Maybe she's coming to check your pulse, and if you don't have one, she's going to cut you up and use you for her experiments. Don't let her kind and sort of steely demeanor fool you. She means business, and I think she's going to cause trouble down the track. I do like the cobbles that they've got her standing on as well, which is awesome. And again, the sculpts are fantastic. This is your more traditional mad scientist dude. And there he is there in all of his glory. He is looking ready to design some sort of grand scheme, some grand plan. He's got a little, I don't know, lunch pack. Maybe there's a sandwich in there. Who knows? Maybe there's a severed hand. Who knows? Your guess is as good as mine. I do like he's got that sort of Victorian style haircut. The cloak that he's got, the jacket is billowing out here, which is awesome. And he is just ready to absolutely take the fight to the village if the angry mob starts climbing up the hill. I love it. Speaking of grave diggers, as we talked about before, we have this gentleman here who actually is packing a shovel. And I like the fact that he's sort of in step. He's making his way out there to cause a bit of grief. He's got his shovel. He's got, is that a cloth or a rag or something here that he's holding on to? Maybe it's a map saying this is where all the best body parts are. I don't know. He's got a little cap on his head as well. And he's got his jacket and everything else. His overalls are hanging down by his sides. I don't know if you can see that there. And just the printing on the jacket as well. The sculpting on the jacket to make it look a bit worn. Like he's been hard at work doing all sorts of crazy stuff. And lastly, the epitome of what it means to be a mad geneticist, scientist, in every way, shape, and form. This is your classic Frankenstein sort of style lab coat, beaker, or what is it? A beaker or a flask of some sort of crazy experiment. Eureka! He's pointing his finger. I've got it. Eureka! I have it. I will complete the experiment and make it work for all of my family and complete my father's work. Yeah. Just because he's a Eastern European, of course. They always are. So you have what looks like another little satchel on the side there for body parts. Maybe he's got some snacks in there because he'll be working late hours into the night, which is just awesome as well. Absolutely brilliant. And I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. And I believe that is everything that is contained in my father's work, other than the app, which obviously I haven't downloaded yet. I need to do that so I can get into the guts of this one. There is so much to unpack here. There is so much that we've had to go through, but at the same time, it's been absolutely amazing to go through some quality components. Have you received your copy of my father's work? Did you back my father's work? Did you not back my father's work? And now watching this, having not backer's remorse. I don't believe there's the opportunity to get your hands on a copy from Renegade at this point. They will not be bringing it to retail. I dare say they may have 1 or 2 copies that they'll have, for bits and pieces down the track. Who knows? I do like the fact too there is potential for more scenarios to come out for this game. So I believe this one is going to be here for a while. If the reception from everyone else is as good as I've given it, this will be around for a long time to come. But before we go anywhere else, we do need to show you what this looks like when it's all set up on the table to give you an idea of the grandiose scope and scale of this behemoth that is my father's work. A game that, you know, by its own admission goes for 3 hours, which is fantastic, by the way. But what does it look like when it's all set up? Let's have a look at the game when it's all set up and roll that footage. And there you go. That's what it all looks like when it's all at the table. As I said, table presence for days. The fact that you've got that chronicle book that can be flipped over at a moment's notice to advance the generations as you build and develop the town, as they try and come after you for your craziness and all that sort of stuff is just boss. The playing pieces, the components are just, it's amazing. It looks fantastic. I will get some sort of semblance of a playthrough done, not necessarily on the channel, because if it's a 3-hour video, obviously we'll work that out. But I have been doing some micro reviews, so by all means check back for that, look out for that one when that comes up on the channel. Otherwise, I would love to hear from you, your thoughts on this game. If you've been lucky enough to receive your copy, what are you thinking? Are you as excited as I am? If you've played it, if you've managed to get a play in, can you please let me know how you went with a playthrough of this one, whether it was easy enough to understand, what the weight of the game is like. Is it really complex? It looks like it is. Yeah, I would love to hear from you, so by all means let me know in the comments. Folks, that is it for today. There is plenty more to come on the channel. We've got other unboxings, we've got more D&D live most Friday nights here in Australia. We're getting out into the thick of it with the community and doing D&D events, and our free RPG day is coming up on the 23rd of July here in Australia as well. So hopefully we'll get some coverage of that for you too. Otherwise, folks, by all means, get out there, play more games, be social, be kind to each other, love each other heaps, and make sure you get out there, most above and beyond, play heaps more games. And we'll see you back here at the channel for some more epic gaming content. Until then, my friends, it is bye for now.